everybody, I'm Terry Matthews, and you're watching this week's episode of Maximum Wage. This is where we tell you who's hiring in Philadelphia and how you can be better to get the job. So today I have a special guest today, Amina, who's going to be talking to us about leaving your job. So you have to be very brave to leave your job because there's a couple of reasons why when you're leaving your job, most of us can't really swing paying our bills without one. So when you're leaving a job, whether it's to become an entrepreneur, maybe you got terminated or maybe they forced you out, or you could just be plain not happy with the place that you're working with. Let me tell you something. Today we're going to talk to this young woman who's become an entrepreneur who left her job with a purpose. And we're going to talk about the feelings and how scary it is and what things you have to think about and be mindful of. But one thing you can never do is quit. The first person you should always believe in is yourself. So Amina, with that being said, let's talk about how you left your job.
Yes. Let's talk.
Okay, so when you left your job, what kind of feelings were you going through? Was it about entrepreneurship, or was there something that really pushed you over the edge where you're like, I gotta get out of this place?
It wasn't entrepreneurship. I never even had that word in my head. And never had that word in my head. It was, I was tired. Like I was tired and I wasn't happy.
Tell me, tired of what? Like, what is that tired feeling?
I've been working since I was 13. And I worked,
and
I've held 2 to 3 positions for the last 10 years. So on average, like in a day, I was working between 16 and 20 hours.
Okay, can I pause you right there? Y'all, she must not have any kids.
No, I don't. I don't have any kids.
Okay.
Which makes sense now. I get it. I'm getting it. I'm understanding. I understand why I don't have kids because I never would have been able to do anything that I've done. Which again, it's all understanding and trusting the process.
Right.
But in the beginning, at that point, I was just tired. Like I worked so many hours and my basis, I love helping people, but I just didn't feel as though it gave me that feeling anymore.
If I can parenthetically pause you right there and just also say to our audience, what people don't really understand, and I had to learn this too in my own personal professional growth and upbringing, is that you can't do everything with money being the reason. I have learned, and I know it sounds cliche, but if you do what you're passionate about, money will come. And that's true. People usually watch this segment to find out how to get a job. What do they need to do on an interview? How do they write a resume? What's the appropriate way when following up with an interview? Who's hiring in the city of Philadelphia? And today, this particular special segment is so different because we're talking about when you leave your job, which is really, a lot different than going to look for your standard type of employment. But what you said in this brief moment was so empowering. You made sure, as I have heard Monique say, that there was no plan B. No plan A has to work. So making sure that we put in those 2 weeks resignation.
Exactly.
Right? We got to do that.
Exactly.
The other piece to this outside of the 2 weeks of resignation is we also have to make sure too that we leave our job with a positive attitude and a right type of whatever we have contributed there. We don't want people to be like, oh, I'm glad she's gone. We want to be like, oh, we miss the fact that she's gone, right?
Exactly.
And the other piece to this that I think is extremely important when leaving our jobs is just making sure that we leave out on a high note and with a purpose. So don't feel gloomed and doomed, but be smart. When you leave, if you can and you have the ability, save for that. Have a plan for that. But there are times too when we get terminated.
Right.
We don't have that choice. So girl, we're in a situation where it's like we got to make the best of that world.
Right.
So let's talk about, where are you today?
So today I am happy. More than
Which
anything.
is not, oh no. Y'all, it's not, notice she didn't say this.
I'm happy. I am happy. I can't really explain a feeling. I like to call it like a balloon. If you cut the string of balloon, the balloon would just float away.
How are we feeling with this no makeup on today?
Liberation.
We're liberated. We talked about this off camera. We feel so liberated without this a lot of makeup and whatever else. Well, I thank you so much for talking with us today and really being transparent about those experiences and understanding too how God has an amazing way of connecting all the dots in our life just so that we have an opportunity to get to where He's always purposed us to be. And listening to that calling inside, because the difference you're making in people's lives by helping them through this very tragic time in their life, it it's unmeasurable. You can't put a dollar amount to it. You can't really understand the impact, because that child's life that you might step in to cover the needs for a short time period until could make all the difference in the world, just like you being part of that organization making all the difference in the world for you today.
Yes.
Yeah. So typically on Maximum Wage, this is the part of the segment where I give you who's hiring in Philadelphia. Well, Philadelphia, we're reaching out to you with this special edition, asking anybody who has an opportunity for entrepreneurs, whether you need a freelancer who does websites, graphic design, maybe it's someone who's good at administrative work, help another entrepreneur by hiring another entrepreneur. So we're asking you, if you have opportunities, send them in right now today at My New Philly for Maximum Wage, because this is an opportunity for us to spread our love, spread awareness, spread education, and more importantly, spread the gift of leaving your job. Just like Amina has shared with us today, you too can do it. It starts with believing in yourself. That's all we have today on Maximum Wage. But check us out next week on My New Philly, where something's always new
and everything is always Philly.
So Philadelphians, mark your calendar for it's the first annual Global Entrepreneur Week. This is an event that if you're an entrepreneur or you want to be like one, you don't want to miss.